rather than the UConn Florida game. I think the winner of this game, I think is going to be Kentucky. I love the way Kentucky's playing right now, and I think Kentucky could upset Florida in the championship. I go on the limb and say that.
Yeah, well, they have the size.
They do, and they can expand from the three, and they can score inside with Julius Randle. So this team, their offensive intensity and firepower is on another level compared to what it was in the regular season, and I'm gonna have to give it to Kentucky.
Well, yeah, me too. I'm going to have to give it to Kentucky. When you look on the offensive end, they have assets at every position. I mean, they're five. Johnson's post game is quite sensational. You have, like Armand just said with Julius Randle, he can post, drive, and then their three guards, they're all capable of putting it on the deck. So,
as much as I want Kentucky to win, I'm rooting for the Wildcats here. I'd love to see an all SEC matchup in the championship, and that would be a rematch of the SEC title game, which Florida won by 1 over Kentucky. So if Kentucky gets there with Florida, they can definitely hold their own. And but I think the Wisconsin Badgers are going to take this game. The way that Bo Ryan's team is playing this tournament, they are just
scoring magnets,
blowing people away. I mean,
they score at will.
I'll be honest with you. I had this Wisconsin team losing in the first round to American, and that upset was looking pretty good for most of the first half, and then in the second half, I don't think American scored 10 points. I mean, it was right from there. It was like
they lost by 40, didn't they?
Yeah, they lost 75-35, and when I saw that, I was like, did they not update American score from the second half? 35. Most teams have that before halftime. I mean, it was right from the get-go there. Wisconsin just, really impressed me. And then they went on to beat Oregon by 8, Baylor by 17, and Arizona by 1 in overtime. That was one of the great matchups of the tournament. This tournament has had so many great games. I mean, look at all the games Kentucky's played in. Their last 3 games have all been of Final Four caliber. You've got the game against Wichita State that they won by 2. Then you have the Louisville game. I mean, that one came right down to the wire, and the Wildcats prevailed by 5. And then you've got the Michigan game where it was tied late in the game, and Aaron Harrison scored hit a 3, the game-winning 3 with 3 seconds left. I mean, Kentucky's games so far show the power of March Madness and just how amazing the matchups and the atmosphere at these games are. But I have to give it to Wisconsin. I just think that they are just playing at another level, and they are that team that have turned it on in the NCAA tournament and are just going to absolutely, it's going to be a close game, but I just think Wisconsin is rolling right now. So, okay. So, we all have Florida, right?
Yep.
Gators?
Yep.
Winning in the first game.
Yep.
And then we've got, you two have Kentucky, and
Yep.
I've got Wisconsin.
Yep.
In your championship matchup, who cuts down the Nets Monday night?
Kentucky Wildcats.
Why?
I don't know. The way that they're playing right now is they're just playing. I mean, it's going to be a tough game. They're just playing as a team. They're playing in unison. Their chemistry is great. They're making smart decisions with the basketball. I don't see them settling down to isolation basketball. Florida is going to be a tough game too, but I'm going to go with the upset. I want to be different. I'm going to go with Kentucky.
Sean?
I have the Florida Gators.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why do you have the Florida Gators?
Well, I have the Florida Gators because, to me, they just have all of the assets. When they're making 3-pointers, they're almost impossible to beat. You have Michael Frazier, you know, and then also you look at guys like, you know, the MVP of the SEC, Scotty Wilbekin, who we all talk about and rave about, and you have, you know, guys who just scrap, like, you know, like Patrick Young.
Yeah, they're effective on both sides of the ball, as you're saying, and they can score well, and then they can stop the ball well. So it's going to be a tough game for Kentucky or Wisconsin, whichever one wins.
Sean, I'm going with you.
Smart man.
I've got the Florida Gators over the Wisconsin Badgers on Monday night. Kentucky. I mean, not Kentucky. Florida. They've won. This is the third time that they've won 30 games in a year, and the other two times were 2006 and 2007. They won national championships those years. That streak continues this year. Enough said. That they've been the best team all year. They're cutting down the nets. So we can all agree that there's an SEC team cutting down the nets Monday night. We'll just see which one. As we said, great matchups this weekend. We've got the just to recap, we've got the UConn Florida game Saturday night at 6:09 tipping, and we've got the Wisconsin Kentucky game, an approximate tip at 8:49, and then Monday night for all the marbles, the title game. I believe it's set for 9 o'clock, and as much as it pains me to say this, March Madness is coming to an end, but we've got 3 great games left, and when we be back, when we're back here next week, we will have a new national champion, and so we will see what occurs with these 4 teams this weekend, and it should be some great basketball. We'll take a quick break here, and then we'll be back with some baseball.